everybody, welcome back. I'm here to tell you another story today. And today is not quite the sunny, beautiful day yesterday was. It's a little chilly and cloudy today, but I'm still thinking about spring. And when I was thinking about that today, I thought of a story that I love to tell about something that grows in the ground. And this is a story about a tiny little seed named Abraham. Once upon a time, there was a tiny little seed named Abraham. But Abraham was not a happy seed. He didn't know what kind of plant he was going to grow up to be, and he worried about that. While he was worrying about it one day, along came a little bird, and the bird looked down and said, "I am so hungry. There's a little seed. I'm going to have it for breakfast." And the bird opened its beak and got ready to eat, and Abraham said, "Wait, please don't eat me. I'm waiting to see what kind of plant I'm going to be. Then you can come back and eat me." And the bird said, "Oh, all right." And the bird flew off on its way. In the meantime, Abraham began to grow and change because that's what little seeds do. And Abraham grew some roots into the green ground and a little tiny shoot above the ground. And he said, I'm growing, but I still don't know what kind of plant I'm going to be." And while he was thinking about that, an animal came by. Does anybody know what kind of animal that is? It's got antlers on its head. You're right, it's a deer. And the deer looked down and said, "Oh, look at a little snack for me." And he opened his mouth and got ready to eat. And Abraham said, "Wait, please don't eat me. I'm waiting to see what kind of plant I'm going to be. Then you can eat me." And the deer said, "Oh, all right." And the deer went on his way. Well, Abraham did not stay a little green shoot for long. He kept growing and changing until suddenly he looked like that. What is that? You're right, it's a little tree. It's a little baby tree. And Abraham said, "Yay, hooray, I'm a tree. But I still don't know what kind of tree I am." And while he was thinking about that, another little animal friend came by, and it had two big teeth in the front. Does anyone know what kind of animal that is? If you said beaver, you're right. It was a little beaver. And the beaver liked to go up to bark and gnaw on it. It felt really good on his teeth, and it helped sharpen them up a little bit. And the beaver just got ready to open his mouth, and Abraham said, "Wait, please don't gnaw on my bark. I'm waiting to see what kind of tree I am, and then you can gnaw on my bark." Abraham said, "Oh, all right. I'll come back." Well, the beaver went on his way, and now not just a day went by, and not a week, and not a month, but actually years went by, and Abraham grew and grew until he was a really big, strong tree. And he said, "Oh, it's so good to be a tree. I just wish I knew what kind of tree I was." And he was thinking about that when along came a man. The man was walking through the forest. He was looking for some good wood to build a house. And he said, "There's a great big tree, perfect one for getting wood for my house." And Abraham said, please don't chop me down. I've been waiting my whole life to see what kind of tree I'm going to be, and I have this feeling that I'm going to know soon." And the man said, "Oh, all right." And he went on his way. The very next morning, when Abraham woke up, he smelled something sweet, and he felt something tickling his branches. And it was kind of juicy, and it was red. Can anybody guess what was on Abraham's branches? Apples. Abraham said, "Yay, hooray, I'm an apple tree. But then he remembered what he told all of those animals and the man. You see, he was a very honest apple tree. He said that they could eat him or chop him down, so he decided to call them back. The first one he had to call back was the one that wanted to eat him when he was a little tiny seed. It was yellow and it had wings. Do you remember what that was? You're right, it was the bird. He said, "Bird, bird." And the bird came flying over and he said, "Guess what? I finally know what I am. I am an apple tree. Go ahead and eat me now." And the bird looked at Abraham and said, "I could have eaten you when you were a little tiny seed, Abraham, but I can't eat a big old tree. My beak is too small. Do you like apples? Said Abraham. I do like apples, said the bird. So Abraham shook one down for his friend the bird. Then he tried to remember who wanted to eat him when he was a little tiny green shoot. Do you remember? It was an animal with antlers. Yes, you're right. It was the deer. Abraham said, "Deer, deer, come back, come back." And the deer just happened to be walking by. And Abraham said, "Guess what? I know what I am. I am an apple tree. Go ahead and eat me now." And the deer said, "Abraham, I could have eaten you when you were a tiny little green shoot. My teeth could never eat a tree." Abraham said, "Do you like apples, dear?" "I do like apples," said the deer. So Abraham shook down an apple for his friend the deer. Then Abraham had to remember who was next. It was an animal that had two big teeth that wanted to gnaw on his bark. Do you remember who that was? If you said beaver, you were right. Abraham called over the beaver and said, "Beaver, beaver, guess what? I finally know what I am. I am an apple tree. Go ahead and gnaw on my bark." And the beaver said, "Oh, Abraham, it's been many years since I've seen you. My teeth could never gnaw on bark as big as yours. I could have handled that when I was younger or when you were littler, but not anymore." Abraham said, "Do you like apples, beaver?" And he said, "I do." So Abraham shook down an apple for his friend the beaver. Well, there was one more Abraham had to call back. Do you remember who it was? Somebody that wanted to build a house. Yep, it was the man. And Abraham knew this was probably the end, so he called the man kind of quietly and he said, "Mr. Man, Mr. Man." Well, just so happened the man was walking by. And Abraham said, "Mr. Man, guess what? I finally know what I am. I am an apple tree. Go ahead and chop me down and build your house." And the man said, "Oh, I got all the wood I needed yesterday. I don't need any more, Abraham." Abraham was so happy. He said, "Mr. Man, do you like apples?" And the man said, "I do like apples." Abraham shook one down for the man. And the man and the deer and the beaver and the bird and Abraham all had an apple party. And they ate and they sang and they had a wonderful time. In fact, they had so much fun that every fall, when Abraham grew more apples, he called for the deer and the beaver and the man and the bird, and they would have party after party. And they lived happily ever after. Thank you for being such good listeners to my story. But I've got another story for you today. And this story, I was reminded of it yesterday when I was reading you the story about when the wind blew. Remember that story? And if you didn't have a chance to see it yet, maybe you'll see it a little bit later, because it's often windy in spring weather. And when I was reading that story, I remembered that I had another story about the wind that's called "Who Took the Farmer's Hat?" And I have a hat that's not quite like the farmer's. His is going to be kind of pointy, but it's one that we can use when we're telling the story. So I'm going to put it down here. There's the farmer's hat. Kind of looks like a mountain, doesn't it? It's a big old hat. The farmer had a hat, an old brown hat. Oh, how he loved his old brown hat. But the wind took it, and it went up in the air and far away. The farmer ran fast, but the wind went faster. Oh no! So the farmer had to look for it. He looked and he looked and he looked, but no brown hat. He saw a squirrel. "Squirrel, did you see my old brown hat?" said the farmer. "No," said Squirrel. "I saw a great big brown bird flying in the sky. A bird with no wings. Do you think that's a bird?" "I think it's the farmer's hat. What do you think?" The farmer saw a mouse. "Mouse, did you see my old brown hat?" "No," said Mouse. "I saw a big brown mouse hole, but the wind took it away before I could get inside." Farmer saw a fly on his nose. Fly, have you seen my old brown hat? No, said Fly. I saw a flat, round, brown hill, but the hill landed in a tree, and I couldn't go after it. You think that's a hill? I think it's the farmer's hat. What do you think? The farmer saw a goat. Goat, have you seen my old brown hat? No, said the goat. I saw a funny, round, brown flower pot, but when I went to eat it, the wind blew it away. Do you think that's a flower pot? I think it might be a farmer's hat. The farmer saw a duck. Duck, have you seen my old brown hat? No, said Duck, but I saw a silly, round, brown boat that sailed away. Is that a silly brown boat, or is it a farmer's hat? The farmer saw a bird. Bird, did you see my old brown hat? No, said Bird. I saw a nice brown nest. The farmer looked inside the tree, and in the tree, what do you think he saw? Looks a little like his hat, doesn't it? But the bird said, isn't it a great nest, farmer? It's perfect for my little babies. Bird even had an egg in the nest, and the farmer said, oh my. Do you like it, said the bird. Yes, I like it very much, said the farmer. Oh, I like that round brown nest very much because it looks a lot like my round brown hat. But I see that now it is a round brown nest. The farmer has a new brown hat. Oh, how he loves his new brown hat. And oh, how the bird loves its new brown nest. Isn't that a great story? Well, before I'm done with you today, I think some of you might have noticed, I'm not sure if it showed up in the camera or not, that I have my monkey tree, and where there's a monkey tree, there's usually monkeys. My monkeys came back today because they still miss you, and today they're going to have an adventure with an alligator. Do you think you know that one? I think you do. But before I start the adventure, I would like to remind you that my alligator is quite friendly, so you don't need to be afraid of him. In fact, he's a little hungry, but very friendly. Hello, alligator. Hello, Debbie, I missed you. I missed you too, alligator. I'm hungry. Right, let me give you a little cookie. Thank you, Debbie. Maybe our friends can feed you too. Okay. Friends, can you feed the alligator? You can give him anything you want and tell him what it is. More. Thank you, friends. More. Oh, I'm full now. I'm going to go take a nap. Good night. Well, while he was resting, my monkey friends came out. Let's see how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the 5 little monkeys went outside to play. And their mama said, monkeys, you can play out in the grass, but please don't climb the tree because I think that alligator is taking a nap and we don't want to make him crabby. Okay, Mama, we'll be good. Thank you, my monkeys. Those monkeys have a very hard time being good. Let's see what they're going to do. 1. Help me count them. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to scoot back so everybody can see them very well. Here we go. 5 little monkeys climbing climbing up the tree, teasing Mr. Alligator. Can't catch me, na-na-na-na-noo-noo. Along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as can be. Hello! Oh! Oh my! That monkey got scared. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4 little monkeys climbing up the tree, teasing Mr. Alligator. Can't catch me, na-na-na-na-noo-noo. Okay, Mr. Alligator, quiet as can be. Hello! Oh! Oh my! How many left? 1, 2, 3 little monkeys climbing up the tree, teasing Mr. Alligator. Can't catch me, na-na-na-na-noo-noo. Okay, Mr. Alligator, quiet as can be. Hello! Ah! Uh-oh, how many left? 1, 2 little monkeys sitting in the tree, teasing Mr. Alligator. Can't catch me, na-na-na-na-noo-noo. Okay, Mr. Alligator, quiet as can be. Hello! Oh! Oh my! How many left? 1 little monkey sitting in the tree, teasing Mr. Alligator. Can't catch me, na-na-na-na-noo-noo. Okay, Mr. Alligator, quiet as can be. Hello! Oh! Oh no! How many are left? None of them are left. So Mama came out and said, Monkeys, where in the world did you go? Monkeys, were you teasing our friend the alligator? Sorry, Mama, we couldn't help it. Well, we better go tell our friend that we're sorry because that wasn't nice. I think he's kind of hungry right now. Okay, Mama. We're sorry, alligator. That's okay. We're friends still, right? Yeah, we're still friends. Okay, I'm going to go rest now. Us too. Goodbye, monkeys. Goodbye, alligator. Goodbye, Debbie. It's time to say goodbye. I hope you had a happy time, a happy time, a happy time. I hope you had a happy time. I had a fun time too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.